to mention, I don't know the name. It's like int 13, like resheet. So like this, guys, it's always better when you have your name under, so that then let's say I can highlight you, like if you got the right move, right? So I know some people come in with like some you know, nicknames like parents' name, but if you want your name to be mentioned, you better have your name. So guys, different moves. Now there was Dakshin also mentioned, I think, the right approach. You know, guys, the best move in this position, DC4. We will get to this why it's the best move. Now, many other moves. Now, C5 was very popular. C5 was very popular. You know, guys, I mean, everyone like, well, we have a bishop pair. We need to open up the position. Guys, there is another problem. Open up the position, I understand. But what about our development? I would be more worried about development. So yes, you need to open up the position, but when you castle, right? So it's kind of like, you know, this rule is not exactly applies here, right? This and potentially we can get later on, we can potentially get isolated pawn or something, right? So this is not applying here. Okay, so there were like I don't think rook b8. I would mention like serious options. Now a5, interesting, following the rule, activating the bishop, whichever color you open in missing. White is missing light square bishop, so we want to activate. My problem with this, whenever you put bishop on a6, I will comfortably respond with b3 and bishop will be blocked. Right? Now, what else was mentioned? Like rook b8, bishop b4. It's a little bit slow. Bishop e7. Everything was mentioned, guys. But here he's on the way to open up the bishop. So we'll see which diagonal, right? I would prefer the big one, but also could be a6 f1. Now, if knight c4, yeah, like you're probably a little bit confused about the pawns. We have this very nice move. So basically, we are like, you want to take on b6, you're welcome. If he plays knight a5 or something, we can strike c5, we can play queen d5. In worst case scenario, like if we like believe that it's something wrong, we can even trade, right? So bishop d2, we are not winning material. So we are doing great. We are doing great, right? He played queen a4. I think like that was kind of like his idea. He played queen a4, targeting the pawns. What do you think, guys? How to respond after queen a4? Okay, guys. So from what I see, like pretty much knight b6 mentioned by a lot of players. So now bishop b7 probably also okay, guys. Bishop b7 should be fine as well. But I kind of like, you know, we don't need the pawn on c6. You know, I would say like like if he wants to take, right? Now, guys, I wanted to mention also that c5. What is my issue with c5? Again, development. I'm a little bit worried about development, right? And there will be a pin. And now, I don't know. I can take knight c4, and like could be some. If you play bishop b7, knight a5. I don't like this knight being pinned. I would rather jump knight b6, right, guys? So maybe it's okay, but yeah, could be some issues actually. Bishop g5, coming knight a5. Yeah, not 100% sure, and definitely we have good choices. I think bishop b7 is not bad, but guys, there is this move. You know, because this is how. Yeah, maybe. Like I don't know, c4, c6. What's the difference, right? Like it's actually not big difference. We still have double pawns. He takes queen c6. He's welcome, right? Because it helps to open up our bishop. So it's kind of like it's a good deal for us. Yeah, we gave up the pawn, which was extra pawn, and it was c6, and we can activate. So now, guys, in general, both queen d7, bishop d7 are fine. He played bishop d7. He played specifically bishop d7 and queen e4. So, like, you know, looks like a fair game. Nothing is clear. How you would continue, guys? Okay, guys, the Borash and Akash. I was waiting until now, got a lot of answers, but nobody got this move. I think, guys, you in some sense, you like relax a little bit, right? Oh, well, the bishop already not so bad. So let's deal with development, right? But this position is very special. Guys, why you jump to b4? I don't understand this square. Why you jump to b4? What is there? Like castle? What are you doing there? Because then later I'll start attacking. Why you put on b4? Like, it's so popular move, right? I don't like this square. So what you want to take on d2? Not really, right? Guys, c5. Again, I have the issue. We are not developed yet. c5 castle. Yes, we are double. I understand. I'm doubling, right? But development. Yeah, surrender. You're right. I mean, it's already not fair to mention you because I already dismissed a couple of moves. But guys, correct. So the point is very important. The bishop, light square bishop, the bishop that we are talking, and this should be mindset. This is our mindset, how to activate the bishop. It's not that, oh, now it's better than c8. Now it's better than c8. It's already on d7. I mean, let us castle and then jump. So, you know, in many cases, it will be maybe the right strategy first to develop. But this position is a little bit close, pawn structure, right? So, guys, it's very important not to be satisfied that this bishop just get open. There is no pawn on c6. It's already on the game. Now we should strive for activating this bishop and run the play where there is a lot of influence of this bishop. This is how we can benefit from this bishop. So we play bishop b5. Guys, the obvious idea that castle will run into c3 and will get exchange. Right? So it comes bishop b5. It's somewhat you know, we are not maybe developing like bishop e7, but on the other hand, we are not allowing castle. So it's not a big deal, right? It's not, oh, we fell in behind the development. So bishop b5, he played knight b1. Understandable, right? Understandable. He wants knight to c3 and finally castle, or castle right away. Queen, guys, I want to go like queen d5. I want to move here. I think it's also pretty natural. So like offering endgame. I think endgame will be fantastic for black, right? It's also, there is, after queen d5, knight d5, there is a potential idea knight b4. So this pawn like can really help with the outpost on d3, right? So no problems whatsoever. Like I think like even ed5 potentially is possible, right? To maybe later get c5. I like knight d5, but that's also an option. And because we are not really worried now without queens, that he can strike e6 one day, so that's not a concern for us. Queen d5, queen e3. Queen e3, logically, white tries to avoid trade. So, guys, what do you think? What we are doing with the knight c3 trap? So, what we are doing here? Interesting, Srinivas. Yeah, but a little bit. Oh, sacrifices. Guys, well, money, correct. And who else mentioned this? mentioned this move. Somebody mentioned this move in the beginning. Ishrit, you also right. Akash, right? So guys, in this position, now to all of you who suggest bishop before, guys, what are you planning? I mean, are you planning to exchange? You want to exchange? You want to get rid of our bishop pair? What do you want? Right? I don't understand. Oh, like I would say after knight c3, you would like also take what? Like what are you doing there? Right, guys? So here's like there is this strange move, which I would say we break another rule. We put knight on the edge of the board, knight on the rim, but in this specific situation it works. Right? Why it works? He still cannot castle. We still have c3, winning exchange, right? And we prevent knight c3. Like we do not prevent, but we're ready to trade, and we'll probably like exchange on c3, right? So it's like I mean, one day he will play knight c3, so it's temporary, right? And not temporary, and knight is not that bad, by the way, right? So there is this exception from the rule. By the way, there are like, of course, many examples where knight on the edge of the board is actually not bad at all, but there are cases it's excellently placed, right? Knight a4, guys. Knight c3. Knight c3, obviously the idea was to take, and bc3. We got bc3. Guys, what we are doing here? So here I would use prophylactic thinking. Guys. What do you think? But I wanted to think, not to rush. Like if you answer in 5 seconds, there is no way you understand this. You know, think a little bit and tell me. Srinivas, you decided to answer. You decided to answer in 10 seconds. Oh, okay, guys. How about I ask you what white wants? You know, always very useful to ask this question. What white wants? Srinivas, this is not an answer. Oh, this is the answer. Srinivas, yes. Oh, so everyone is coming now. Everyone is coming now, like with the answer. Like, guys, a4 followed by bishop a3. a4 followed by bishop a3. So there were yeah, and then it's straight, and he gets rid of our bishop pair. It's like very hard to imagine that our bishop on f8, like we shouldn't trade, but this is how we keep the bishop pair, right? So it's actually important. That's where bishop is also very important. Guys, now like this answer, actually, like a few guys answered bishop a4. Answered bishop a4. I understand this move. It's probably not bad. And yeah, even like I remember somebody mentioned that the best square for this bishop is on d3. So he wants to get bishop c2 d3. I don't know. I mean, I'm not too excited about this square, guys. I'm not excited about this square. I'm like bishop c6. I like the bishop on this diagonal. I like the bishop on this diagonal. right? This is the best square for the bishop, I think, to be on the big diagonal. C2, D3, okay, you attack the rook, rook E1, and then what? You know, like, I don't see a big deal about this. Now bishop C6, actually, it's very interesting, like, prophylactic work here he did, like, A4 was not played, but it actually doesn't matter. No, Srinivas, no, G6, bishop G7. What are you talking about? This is weakening, very weakening. So white played castle, guys, and please pay attention what he did. He still in this position. He's like, oh well, if I just time to develop, right? But then what? Then what? Then bishop A3, right? So the part of the plan. So what to do? Again, bishop A4. We played bishop C6. Doesn't make sense. Then we go bishop A4 right away. Arun, and then rook B8 and then A4. Queen A5. I can still play A4 right after Queen A5. I think like will be. Guys, it's not a mistake. So here, please pay attention. Arun, that's correct. Finally, guys, what's the mistake of bishop E7? So there was a question. No, it's not. It's not a big mistake, but there is probably bishop I3 idea that we can prevent, unavoidable, right? Now, what black played is it was rook B8, guys. Useful move, fantastic move, and A4 now runs into rook B3, guys. And this and knight is tight. You cannot go knight D2, right? Because our bishop is working. So what happened? We played natural moves. So that's the difference, guys. We didn't play the moves like Srinivas suggests, for instance, bishop E7, A4, G5, bishop A3, bishop D8. Respect for improvisation. In terms of improvisation, all is good. My problem is like, hint is like, I don't know, G4, it will be 91, right? Then he will play A3. I'm worried about the king. And bishop on D8. So it's like very interesting idea. But bishop A4 when we can play bishop A4? Big question, like how you prepare bishop A4, right? So it's bishop A3 comes, so there is no time for this. Guys, and here we have a very nice natural move. We like B5, right? B5, really nice. And A4 rook B3, outpost. He cannot really attack the rook, so everything is nice. Now, guys, it's very important also to mention that in this position we can afford this type of play, maneuvering, because the pawn structure is closed, right? Otherwise, there might be issue of development. We fail behind in development, but here in this specific position, it's like, development is not so important, right? Because it's very close. Rook E1 was played. Rook E1 was played in this position, guys. And bishop E7. Finally, we can play our move. Bishop E7. He played, I think that potentially there could be some G5 ideas like H4. H4. Now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you what you would do here in this position. Okay, guys, I'm very surprised how many people it was until maybe like 5 seconds ago, 10 seconds ago. There was no short castle at all, no short castle. But then if you guys mentioned like why not to take the king to safety and just to castle, yes, we can do this, but it's not very ambitious. The position is actually number one, the position is close. Number two, many players noticed the potential of attack on the king side. And many guys also suggested that having king on d7 actually pretty safe because it's close position. Guys, you're absolutely right. And now, so the most popular answer was to go like h6, preparing g5. So guys, here's very important point. Very important point. Not only we just like should be satisfied, oh, we develop bishop on c6, great. So now I can castle. No, we need to run the play where this bishop might be influenced, like the most of the influence. If we open up g5, he will have a hard time, right? If we just settle down for castle, he will have time. Now, h6 with idea g5, I think it's kind of like a little bit slow. I can do this, then you need rook g8, but then if you push g, I can take on h6. So there is, I think it's still good. I think it's still good, but a little bit slow. Now, there was recommended, somebody suggested move h5, followed by rook h6. This is a very nice idea, played in the game. You know, guys, but at some point it was very interesting. I was showing this position to one of my students, and well, I knew h5 is the best move. Excellent, I would be very happy. And by mistake, my engine was running, and then I suddenly see like what's going on. Like engine recommends immediate g5. Guys, it's all about the same idea. That's crazy. g5, hg5, rook g8. So without any delay, open up g5. Fantastic. And just he cannot really stop that we regain the pawn. He cannot stop. Now, with the point being, if he plays king f1, guys, then we can still take. After knight g5, we take this guy, king e2, and we take rook g5. Temporary sacrifice, so we are pawn up, right? Queen g5. If he takes, there is a mate. So we play here, king d2 will be queen d3 mate, that's obvious. And king f1, we have this devastating tricky check. Right? Done. So that means like he probably has to do like queen e2 or king f1, but we quickly open g file. Right? Like I don't know, here in this position, maybe he's like bishop g5 to go like queen e2, something like that. But then we very quickly can bring the second rook, and that's basically like big attack here. Big attack. We like double, and what he will do with g2 pawn. Fantastic, right? So objectively speaking, this is the best move. Now, guys, and you see why it's happening, because the whole issue is he doesn't have light square bishop. Hard for him to protect inside. h5 was played in the game, guys. h5 was played in the game, and white played in this position queen e2. Preventing rook h6. What to do, guys? Guys, if you give like some moves that require some attention, like you know that there is a potential variation, right? So for instance, you guys, those who suggest like, I mean, I'll just give one example. It's definitely, it's not a good move, but still, bishop h4, and that's it. That's not the answer, right? I mean, I need to know what after knight h4. what happens? What is the variation? G5, knight f3. I want to know what happens. Like if you send me one move, like not enough, right? The same applies. G5, a G5. What's going on? Or bishop G5. What's going on there? Like what? You send G5 and that's it. I will consider that you blundered the pawn. Oh, Eric, that's a good answer. That's how I want this. Okay, guys. So in general, I see a lot of G5. Now, guys, like Rook G8 a little bit slow, right? I have Bishop G5. I have Bishop G5. I might have Queen F1. I don't know, right? And the right answer is to strike with G5. Bishop H4 is not working. So there have been many guys who answered G5. And the idea basically, when he takes, we'll have the chance. So he took with the bishop. I think this is the best. We have the chance to play this. And H3 is unstoppable. It's winning or not, that's another question. But H3 is unstoppable. Guys, attention, right? So we run our play in this diagonal. Not like on some other diagonal where our bishop is working. The bishop, whichever color he is missing. Read here. What was your mistake? You said bishop h4 or what? What was your move? I don't see how it's working. Take. What's the point here? G5, there is bishop G5, even somebody mentioned. I even forgot. I thought knight f3, which is probably also now. Akash, what was your move? Rook G8, Queen F1, F5. But you are not getting G5. You're not opening up, Akash. So you just played some, I don't take Ampasani F6 and G5 closed. I want G5 be open. Okay, guys. Now, white played Rook B1 in this position. How you would react? Okay, one idea. The Boris, I like your answer. Oh, what a variation. Guys, a lot of answers. And in general, the potentially there is a logic to take the rook away, like rook d8, to take on b1, play king d7. I mean, I don't remember, but it seems like white can stay in the game there. Now we cannot go king d7 because h4 is fine. Guys, there is this simple positional move I like the most. I don't want even to give you b5. You want to take, you're welcome, right? Remember, we dreamed about undoubling pawns. So rook b6. And there is a tension, and if he takes, he improves our pawn structure. Good deal. Instead of giving up b5. It's a good deal. Even though like rook d8 probably okay. Right? So eventually, there were some opportunities actually to defend, but he eventually captured because actually like he's stuck with both rooks now. So what to do? He's like, he wants to take, right? And guys, rook b5, similar idea, but there could be a4 anytime, right? So like this is just, I would say no-brainer. No-brainer. You just play rook b6, like, you know, take, right? You're welcome. Took here, played knight e1. Guys, we know that it's h3. I'm not even asking you, h3, no questions about queen to f3. Guys, I want you to think about this position. Very important, critical moment. What we play here? And guys, preferably full line, right? Full line. Like guys, for instance, you do h2 check, king h1, what next? H2, queen d5, bishop d5, knight g2, what next? This is a good line. Srinivas, good line. Gilam, also good line. Yes. Akash, then f3 at the end. Hari Kumar, nice line. Nice line. Shetty, so what's the, like, you ended your line with a white move. Oh, a2, king g2, come on. a2, king g2, queen d7. Now that's, guys, those who suggest like h2, what next? King h1, give me the line. What's the point? But this is kind of like a little bit lazy answer. What you said h2 and then what? Like only move, right? So continue. Guys, a lot of players already answered correct. Yeah, I most of them I mentioned already, right? But if you there have been a lot of answers, just it was pouring all the way. Queen b5, interesting, interesting idea. Oh, Dakshin, no, not to trade this bishop, guys. So h2, king h1, there is nothing. Queen b5, also like somebody just like queen f6. Not to forget, our king is also might be problematic, right? So that's not precise. Oh no, h out. Suddenly this pawn disappears, so I thought like h2, queen f1 mate. Yeah, yeah, some kind of like hallucination here. Yeah, guys, no. So there is this line. Yeah, it's maybe it's at first glance seems very strange that we accept queen straight, right? Knight g2. So also very important detail mentioned by, I think, Hari Kumar, if I remember correctly, he mentioned that f3 runs into bishop f3. Very, very important tactical detail. Bishop f3 and bishop is untouchable. It's very nice. And so knight takes g2, but then it's easy to understand. Actually, there was an answer. I think it's actually the most precise move. Julem mentioned bishop f3. Guys, so some people might just stop. Oh, well, I was attacking, now I'm pulling down the endgame, like, well, I better keep queens, right? But in fact, if you understand this position, the bishop f3, he's practically paralyzed. Knight is not moving, king is not moving, so only he can move the rook, and they actually it's very quickly comes like this, right? I think it's how he stays in the game. I don't. Rook e1, rook e3. Yes, it's forced. It's forced, correct. But I mean, let's say when you play rook e3, I can stay rook h3 just, right? Yeah, rook e1 only move. Now somebody mentioned rook h5 here. That's also strong idea. Then I think like, and with the point being that after f4, rook h3, so that's pretty strong as well. Now, what is interesting, I think they're all winning, guys. What is interesting in the game, he went rook h3 right away. Also very good. You know, guys, like if I get this pawn, I'm winning because I will have two passed pawns. So this is where it helps that we improved our pawn structure with rook b6. And after rook c1, after rook c1, black played this move. And yeah, bishop f3 was also good, but it's funny, like b5. And strangely enough, white resigned. Why white resigned? Because actually, like we know it's almost like Zook's like paralyzed, only rook is moving, right? And the issue is also like if you do f4, guys, we will go to pawn endgame. We'll play rook g3, we'll play b4, right? And then we'll take, and he cannot stop the pawn. So he noticed this, I guess. So it's total disaster, right? Meanwhile, what is our plan? I mean, there is like bishop f3, rook h5. We know this idea, but rook e1, rook e3, he saves the day. So the idea is just simple, like king runs here, you know, guys, like this. Good point. Good point. There is also rook e1 before rook e3. Yes. But the problem is like Srinivas, I will wait for your rook h5, only then I play rook e3, right? So I will not play rook e3 myself. But you know, meanwhile, we can do whatever we want, like whatever we want. So it's like very, very annoying. You just sit and wait and it's slow. So he decided he decided bishop e4. Well, bishop e4, rook e1. Yeah, I mean, I'll just improve my king. And go to a4 and then create pass pawn or just go after pawn a. That's it, right? So totally lost, guys. Totally lost. Now, important lesson, guys. Again, the rule: activate the bishop whichever color your opponent missing. But activate doesn't mean like to be satisfied that this bishop on d7 or c6. Also run the play, kind of like I would say like towards this bishop or where this bishop has most of the influence. Right? Not like, oh, you activate bishop on c6 and then we play on the other side because mission accomplished. No, you see how we played something, we put the pressure on his king, the diagonal was very, very significant. And that he was missing his light square bishop, it was the key factor. Right? And once again, guys, remember this rule everywhere. Once you have the bishop and your opponent doesn't have the bishop of the same color, activate. Whether you have a bishop pair, whether you have like exchange down, bishop against knight, whatever, always activate. It's like works everywhere. So once it's happening, it should be your mindset, like immediately. Okay, so maybe now it's not working, but I remember how I activate. Okay, guys. So I wanted to make sure that today we have 5 minutes, 5 minutes for the questions. Please post your questions in the chat. Well, I'm sorry, in Q&A, the best. And we'll run with the questions because it's been already 2 classes that I had almost no time towards the end. How to stop my blunders. Guys, to be honest, I'll tell you, I'm not working, like for me, it's always mysterious. I always say like, I accept students, those who do not blunder. Because for me, it's like, you know, the level that you should overcome by yourself, solving tactics and so on, paying attention, I don't know, right? So that's the thing. It's just like, and I'm talking about simple blunders, right? If it's happening like you're missing tactics, it's different story. But if you just simply blunder, it's, I don't know, it's just like some kind of foundation that you should overcome by yourself, by solving a lot of tactical puzzles. When I ask about, okay, bishop h4, not, guys, the game is irrelevant. I think I explained bishop h4. Julian, what is your training routine? I mean, it's been like 10 years. I'm not active chess player, right? And the times has changed. What I did before and nowadays it might be different. And also I can tell you that grandmasters grandmasters, they spend probably like 90% working on the openings, where it's also involves middle game. So they go so deep that it involves also middle game position. So this is what they do. Now for the regular players, I think you should build some kind of like routine, but it shouldn't be like universal for everyone. It depends on your weaknesses, right? If you like struggle in the openings, more attention to the openings, like, you know, tactics. And so this is where, guys, I always say, like, somebody like some good professional, to ask good professional, maybe to find, like, pay for one class that he can do like some kind of like evaluation class and so on, right? Guys, raising hand is not working here, right? Like, please post your question. Any good way to improve tactics, any good website? Guys, there are million books, million websites. It's just important that you run with this. Lead chess is great. You can select according to the rating. Chessable courses, chess tempo, chess.com, everywhere. It's even doesn't matter. And once you solve, once you are successful, it improves. It goes more difficult. So like everything. I really don't care. I'm telling my students, well, what is the best? Unless it's something advanced. So then there are like special books and stuff, like it doesn't matter. Just run. For 1500 rated, how to develop faster. Guys, again, I always have this advice. Find somebody who is like strong player, who can see your problems, your weaknesses, and recommend. Okay, he can tell the Boris, you are like, you don't know the openings, you cannot play. Like, just an example, the Boris, I don't know anything about you, right? So, but let's say he can see your games and he like, well, you don't know the openings, like you cannot play like this. Study openings, you know, some like, you know, opinion of the, like, you know, second opinion. you think something, right, about yourself, about your weaknesses, you understand. But once you check with somebody like more experienced, like, you know, in your case, 1500, it shouldn't be a grandmaster. It could be like, you know, national master, whatever, right? So he will see your games. He will check your weaknesses. He will give you directions, and you'll start working much more efficient. So, knight better than the bishop.
Boris, it was very interesting. Could you please stop the screen share?
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, so there is a Northern schedule.
We have like a few more questions which we have sent to Attila.
So to answer a few more questions, or
yes, can I ask you some? I mean,
Boris, can you please stop the screen share?
I stop, no?
I still see this.
I have this like resume. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the first question from Harry. He keeps losing against lower rated opponents in tournaments. What should he do?
Well, I mean, to take them seriously, right? To take these guys seriously, it's something, it's more psychological. So I always say, there is this phrase, play against the pieces, not the rating. Play against the pieces, just to try to be objective, whether you play against high rated, low rated, and so on, right? So that's the advice.
Okay, so next question. Niha asks, her daughter plays chess and gets training with nurture coaches. She is 1300 rated and 9 years old. What is her future if she does not become a grandmaster?
Yeah, well, I don't know if does not become, well, it's a hard question. It's a like what is the future? It's chess is hard. It's a lot, requires a lot of work, 90%. So you never know, right? There is no guarantee. There is no guarantee in everything because there are so many factors, right? You can have the best coaches, the best training, but then you go and off the board something happens, right? So yeah, I think when you work hard, you are going to benefit. Now, which level you get, big question, like impossible to know, right?
Yeah, for next, Robin asks, does young grandmasters get admission and scholarship in USA colleagues?
Yes, yes, they do. Like there are, I think, like more and more colleges in US who give scholarship, who give scholarship. Yeah, there are, and there is this college championships, guys. But I'll say something controversial. Like, you know, if you, so there is this way, you become a decent chess player. Well, probably nowadays they already require to be GM, Grandmaster, and get to the US college. So this is one way, but this is not chess career. You basically, if you choose this way, probably you stop there, because this colleges is not a job. It's a very hard learning, and basically like these 4 years, there could be like hardly any improvement. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, so that's, of course, some people improve and this, but they like, you know, they don't do a lot of chess. They you know, they meet now, for instance, you know, guys like Wesley So, he was in the college, right? He was admitted, but then it was like related to his like move to US and stuff like this. But you know, after some time he dropped because he realized he cannot really improve. And then after he dropped, very quickly he became one of the top players in the world. So you keep in mind, right, guys? But I mean, there is this way, Grandmaster, then US scholarship, and you get a good job. But this is not a chess career.
Okay, next, Jasmine asked, who is your favorite chess player of all time?
Yeah, well, I was, you know, I grew up watching Garry Kasparov. He was my idol, you know, like I was like every game, like just followed him and so on. Nowadays, it's hard not to be a big fan of Magnus Carlsen. So I think it would be a very simple question. I also really like Chinese Grandmaster Dean Liren for his deep opening preparation, for his play in general. Now, especially before the pandemic, I mean, now he's like somewhat stuck in China. He cannot travel for some reason. I don't know what is there, but yeah. So, like, it would be a simple answer to say Magnus, but also Dean Liren is the second player that I closely follow. Yeah, and before that, Garry Kasparov.
Okay, so next, Leila asks, who motivated you to start playing chess?
Oof, who motivated? I think it was kind of like inside into my family. My grandfather played, and then my dad was also like very decent chess player, candidate master, and it slowly started like this, right? Like it's so kind of like they helped, they pushed, and then I went all the way from there, right? Like from some chess section and so on, and just it's worked well, you know. But it's probably my dad. I would say, like, if there is one clear person, so that was my dad. Yeah.
Okay, and last question, Brock asks, which openings young players should focus more nowadays?
The openings that you like. The opening that are appealing to you personally. Of course, you know, guys, there are like some, let's say, too complicated for some level. Let's say if you're like 1500, 1600, I would say maybe like King's Indian is tough opening. But you know, also there are exceptions that people, there are some players who understand this, right? And they're happy to play this. So it's just the most important. It's like that you like what you see. It's appealing to you, right? And it could be any factor. It could be any factor. It was like easy to study, or you like the pawn structure, or you watch the game of Magnus Carlsen, how he won. Doesn't matter. Like the most important. It's not like I often see like especially new students who are coming to me and they have some like repertoire, and then I'm like, so why do you play this? And he's like, oh, well, my coach told me to play. I don't like it, but he told me to play. So that's not a good approach, right? So there are so many good openings that you can always switch, right? Well, it requires some work, of course, but something that you feel comfortable with yourself, right? And not to like you play the game and again like, oh well, I mean, I played this opening once again, I don't like this position, and I'm suffering. Like that shouldn't be like, you should enjoy it, right? Like you like the pawn structure, you like the positions and so on.
Okay, so thank you, Boris, for this amazing session, and
Thank you. Thanks for moderating.
Thank you, every one of you, for joining. The next camp will be on Sunday with Grandmaster Boris, so don't miss it. And thank you very much.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a nice evening.